Eastern Africa was among the areas which whetted the new territorial appetites. But there was already an imperial presence here, the Arabs. They had arrived in different roles, merchants or conquerors, explorers and builders of sultanates. Some were just traders who came by dhow and went back to Arabia with the annual monsoon winds. Others settled along the East African coast, intermarried with Africans, and created new communities and city-states. A whole new civilization emerged, partly Arab and partly African, with a new African language, Kiswahili, a distinctive way of life, a distinctive architecture, cuisine, music, customs and traditions. But the civilization had one major flaw, slavery. The local technology had not yet outgrown the slavery system as it had in the West. But the nature of the slave system which the Arabs practiced was different. Arab slavery mixed the races. Anglo-Saxon slavery separated them. My own extended family is mixed. We are descended both from masters and slaves, from rulers and subjects. If the father was a Mazrui, the child was a Mazrui, regardless of whether the mother was once a slave. Indeed, under Islamic law, the mother became free as a result of bearing her master a child, and children were fundamentally free if their father was free. Now contrast this with Anglo-Saxon forms of slave ownership. In the United States, fathers actually sold their children if the mothers were slaves. Remember Chicken George in Alex Haley's Roots? Haley's grandfather was sold by his own father into slavery, a position quite inconceivable under Islamic law. Of course, Arab slavery was evil, but Western slavery was often worse, and the Arabs have certainly suffered from Western perspectives of history. Zanzibar's slave caves suited Western propaganda well. After all, the missionaries could raise more money by proclaiming a crusade against the Arabs. The empire builders could get moral justification for their activities. And so the cartoonists, the sketch makers started work, portraying the villainy of the Arabs in Eastern Africa. It was a new law of Western cynicism in the 19th and 20th centuries. Have you ever stopped to wonder what happened to the slaves that the Arabs are supposed to have sold? Where are they, all those slaves? Well, when you think about it, there is a kind of disappearing act that took place. Approximately 100 million people of African derivation are today in the Western world, probably quite a few millions more. Contrast this with the numbers in the Arabian Peninsula. There are only 2 million people with African blood in the Arabian Peninsula. And that trade to Arabia was supposed to have started at least 1,000 years earlier than the transatlantic slave trade. Where are those slaves? European cartoonists were not interested in such niceties. They were promoting a colonizing crusade. Africa had to be saved from the Arabs and secured for the West.